Good morning, everyone. Hello to Geeta, Jens, Bradley, and also good morning to the live chat that finally works. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining us this morning. So we will be chanting and the funeral chanting, as we call it, and it's on page 64 of the book that is on the link, the Abhayagiri link book. And after that, Bhante will be leading us some guided meditation. And if you have any sort of comments and questions, you're welcome to put them in the live chat and he will address them. And welcome to also Elaine and to anyone else that I don't see on the live chat. All right, so we can start by chanting. And good morning, Bhante, of course.
So as mentioned, we'll be chanting the funeral chanting. So this is one way that funeral chanting is done. And as I've explained on previous days, this is an excerpt from the Abhidhamma Pitaka, which is commonly chanted because the story goes that after the Buddha attained enlightenment, he went to his deceased mother in the Tusita heaven and taught her Abhidhamma. So then there's the custom of reciting Abhidhamma verses for those who have passed away and hoping for them to understand the meaning of the Dhamma and to make progress on the path. So in particular, we're dedicating this chanting to all the people who have died from the coronavirus over the past few months. And in specific, we know a family right here in the neighborhood where the monastery is. There's a family where the father passed away from coronavirus. And the father was also the only wage earner in the family. So the family is quite distraught and also in very bad situation. So we're particularly dedicating this to that family and the father who passed away. So later today we'll be giving them a bunch of free vegetables, but we'll start the day by chanting for them as well as for everybody else who's been affected by coronavirus-related deaths. So wishing for all those who have passed away from the coronavirus to hear the Dhamma, to understand the Dhamma, and to deeply realize the true meaning of the Dhamma. So we'll start with chanting Namo Tassa 3 times, and then we'll do the funeral chanting. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Kusala Dhamma Kusala Dhamma Vyakata Dhamma Sukhaya Vedanaya Sampayutta Dhamma Dukkaya Vedanaya Sampayutta Dhamma Dukkama Sukhaya Vedanaya Sampayutta Dhamma Vipaka Dhamma Vipaka Dhamma Dhamma Neva Vipaka Na Vipaka Dhamma Dhamma Upadin Upadaniya Dhamma Anupadin Upadaniya Dhamma Anupadin Anupadaniya Dhamma Sankilita Sankilesika Dhamma Sankilita Sankilesika Dhamma Asankilita Sankilesika Dhamma Savitaka Savichara Dhamma Avitaka Vichara Matta Dhamma Avitaka Vichara Dhamma Piti Sahagata Dhamma Sukha Sahagata Dhamma อุเปกาสหกทาธัมมาดัสเนนะปะหาทาบาธัมมาภาวนายปะหาธัมมาธัมมาเนวดัสเนนะนะภาวนายปะหาธัมมาธัมมาดัสเนนะปะหาทาบะเหตุกาธัมมาภาวนายปะหาทาบะเหตุกาธัมมาเนวดัสเนนะนะภาวนายปะหาทาบะเหตุกาธัมมาอาจยกามิโนธัมมาปัจจยกามิโนธัมมาเดวาจยกามิโนนาปัจจยกามิโนธัมมาเสกาธัมมาอเสกาธัมมาเดวเสกานาเสกาธัมมาปริตตาธัมมามหากตาธัมมาปมานาธัมมาปริตตารัมมนาธัมมามหากตารัมมนาธัมมาปมานารัมมนาธัมมาหีนาธัมมามัจฉิมาธัมมาปณิตาธัมมาเมจาตนิยตาธัมมาสามาตนิยตาธัมมานิยตาธัมมามาการัมมนาธัมมามาเกเหตุกาธัมมามากาติปติโนธัมมาอุปันนาธัมมาอุปันนาธัมมา
อุปาทิโนธัมมา
อธิตาธัมมานาคตาธัมมาปัจจุปันนาธัมมาทิทารัมมนาธัมมานาคตารัมมนาธัมมาปัจจุปันนารัมมนาธัมมาจัตตาธัมมาปหิทาธัมมาจัตตบหิทาธัมมาจัตตารัมมนาธัมมาปหิทารัมมนาธัมมาจัตตบหิทารัมมนาธัมมาสนิดาสนะสาปฏิกาธัมมาอนิดาสนะสาปฏิกาธัมมาอนิดาสนะปฏิกาธัมมาเหตุปัจจโยอารัมมณปัจจโยอธิปติปัจจโยอนันตรปัจจโยสัมมนันตรปัจจโยสหจาตปัจจโยอัญญมัญญปัจจโยนิสยปัจจโยอุปนิสยปัจจโยกุเรจาตปัจจโยปัจจาจาตปัจจโยอาเสวนปัจจโยคัมมปัจจโยวิภากปัจจโยอาหารปัจจโยอินทรียปัจจโยญาณปัจจโยมรรคปัจจโยสัมปยุตตปัจจโยวิปยุตตปัจจโยอติปัจจโยนาติปัจจโยวิกตปัจจโยอวิกตปัจจโยปัญจขันธารูปขันโธเวทนาขันโธสัญญาขันโธสังขารขันโธวิญญาณขันโธวาดสายตนานิจักวายตนังรูปายตนังโสทายตนังสันดายตนังกานายตนังกันธายตนังเจหายตนังรสายตนังหายายตนังโพธัพพายตนังมนายตนังธัมมายตนังอัฏฐารสธาตุโยจักขุธาตุรูปธาตุจักขุวิญญาณธาตุโสตธาตุสัทธธาตุโสตวิญญาณธาตุฆานธาตุกันธธาตุฆานวิญญาณธาตุจิภาธาตุรสธาตุจิภาวิญญาณธาตุกายธาตุโพธัพพธาตุกายวิญญาณธาตุมโนธาตุธัมมธาตุมโนวิญญาณธาตุภาวิสัจจิน Indriyani Chakundriyang Sotindriyang Kanindriyang Jirindriyang Kayindriyang Manindriyang Yetindriyang Purisindriyang Jivitindriyang Sukhindriyang Dukhindriyang Somanasindriyang Domanasindriyang Upekindriyang Sadindriyang Viriyendriyang Satindriyang Samadindriyang Vanyendriyang Ananyadanyassamidindriyang Anyendriyang Anyadavindriyang Chatari Arya Sachani Dukha Arya Sacham Dukha Samudayo Arya Sacham Dukha Nirodho Arya Sacham Dukha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Sacham Avidya Pachaya Sankhara Sankhara Pachaya Vijnana Vijnana Pachaya Nama Rupam Nama Rupa Pachaya Salayatanam Salayatana Pachaya Paso Pasa Pachaya Vedana Vedana Pachaya Tanha Tanha Pachaya Upadana Upadana Pachaya Bhavo Bhava Pachaya Jati Jati Pachaya Jara Maranam Soka Parideva Dukkha Domana Supaya Sasambhavanti Eva
Meta Sakevala Saduka
Kandha Sasamudayo Hoti Avinjayata Veva Asesa Vivraga Nirodha Sankhara Nirodho Sankhara Nirodha Vijnana Nirodho Vijnana Nirodha Nama Rupa Nirodho Nama Rupa Nirodha Salayatana Nirodho Salayatana Nirodha Pasa Nirodho Pasa Nirodha Vedana Nirodho Vedana Nirodha Tanha Nirodho Tanha Nirodha Upadana Nirodho Upadana Nirodha Bhava Nirodho Bhava Nirodha Jati Nirodho Jati Nirodha Jara Maranam Soka Parideva Dukkha Domana Supaya Sa Niruchanti Eva Metasa
Kevala
Dukkha Khandha Sa Nirodhoti Anichavata Sankhara Upadavaya Dhammino Upajitva Nirojanti Te Samvupasamo Sukho Anichavata Sankhara Upadavaya Dhammino Upajitva Nirojanti Te Samvupasamo Sukho Anichavata Sankhara Upadavaya Dhammino Upajitva Nirojanti Te Samvupasamo Sukho. Okay, so please get in meditation posture. Sitting up nice and straight. Taking a few deep breaths to help settle the body and mind. If you're still feeling a bit sleepy, you keep your eyes half open, pointed down about 1 meter in front of you. Or if you're feeling awake and alert, then you can close your eyes. Let's start by bringing attention to your body, clearly feeling the whole body all at once. Feeling the heaviness of the body, its solidity, its density. Feeling it, feeling the hard framework of the bones, holding up the softer muscles and organs, all draped in skin and hair, like clothing on a rack draped on a mannequin. Clearly feeling the solid, heavy, dense aspect of the body. as if the body was a stone statue, heavy, dense, hard, and unmoving. Feeling the moisture that saturates the body. The watery liquid aspect of the body. Saliva in the mouth, tears in the eyes, mucus in the nose, fluid in the stomach, and all the moisture that saturates the entire body, permeating everything from the skin, the muscles, the organs, the bones, the whole body is liquid, moist. Feeling the body like a dense cloud of fog in the shape of a sitting human. like an ice sculpture, just barely beginning to melt. Just clearly, peacefully knowing the water body with equanimity. Clearly aware of the liquid aspect of the body as it is, without desire or aversion. Holding the mind steady and unmoving in this awareness of the water body. Feeling the heat of the body, feeling its radiant warmth, as if the whole body was a hot, glowing coal, red hot, in the shape of a sitting human. A mass of fire in the shape of a meditator. Clearly feeling the heat of the body. Keeping the mind still and sharp in this awareness of the heat body. Feeling the air aspect of the body, the air swirling and circulating all through the body, giving the body a sense of support, expansiveness, lightness, freshness. Feeling the air circulating through the body like a whirlwind in the shape of a sitting meditator. Like a balloon, the shape of a Buddha statue. Keeping the mind still and sharp, maintaining awareness of the air body. Feeling all four elements all at once. Feeling the body as solid, moist, warm, and airy all at once. Letting these four elements blur together into a single direct knowing, single clear awareness of the body. Relax your posture.
Right. Thank you, Bante, for guiding us in meditation. And welcome to some other friends that have joined us. Ila, Sally, Yasmin, Yanni, David, Ethan, and Dan. Oh, and Sally says, hopefully we'll be free from suffering, the family we dedicated the chanting to. And Ela is saying, maybe there is a way we could help that family. Well, actually, thanks to your kind donations, Empty Cloud will be able to sponsor food for the family for this month, but they also have a GoFundMe fundraiser that I'm going to look up right now and post it if you would like to support them directly. And welcome to also Jacqueline and Geeta. And if you have any questions for Bante, feel free to type them in the live chat.
Yeah, so especially anything related to the practice that we did this morning. We'll be having a monk chat session this evening, so that will be a chance to ask more general questions. But if you have anything related to the practice we did this morning, please go ahead. So normally I teach the 6 elements as a Vipassana method. This morning the guidance was around using just the first 4 elements as a samadhi practice. So this is another way of using the elements meditation, is just using it as a way of developing a clear, direct, stable awareness of the body, which can be a very effective way of developing samadhi for those who find a more straightforward form of mindfulness of the body a bit more challenging. So if you have any questions or reflections based on the meditation practice or on the chanting that we did, please go ahead and type them in.
All right, thank you, Bante. We do have a question from Sally, but let me type in the GoFundMe link for Poulette's family. Oh, it won't let me do it. Oh, yes, it did. Okay, perfect. So I think that should work. Yes, so in the live chat, you can see the GoFundMe link for Poulette's family and with the information. And if you feel inclined to support a family in need, you can do so there. And Sally says, at the end, how to feel the 4 elements at the same time? I have to ask myself to feel earth, air, warm separately, and then water even longer time to feel it.
Yeah, well, once you have a clear feeling of all 4 separately, then you can feel them together. Some people, they find that step very difficult. For me, I actually have a bit harder time separating them apart clearly. It's like even when I'm feeling the earth element, there's a subtle awareness of its moistness and its warmth. Even when I'm feeling the water element, there's a subtle awareness that the water element is within a solid environment, and so on. So for me, switching to doing all 4 at once is not difficult. It actually feels quite natural. If it feels more of a struggle for you, then you might start with doing 2 elements simultaneously, and then 3, and then 4. Okay.
And Sally also says, for water, I felt phlegm in the throat. Is that okay?
Wherever you feel moisture, but realistically, what you're trying to do is to feel the whole body. So the whole body is moist. The whole body is wet. So with water element, feeling moisture in a specific part can be a way of starting. Usually saliva in the mouth is the most clear and obvious perception of water that people can start with. But we're trying to feel the whole body as moist. Every single part of it is moist. Every part of it's wet. Even your bones are wet. We think of bones as dry, but that's because they're only dry when they're outside of the body and they've been allowed to dry out. But actually, even your bones are wet. Every single part of the body is wet. So it's feeling the whole body as water, the whole body as moisture.
And Mark is saying, so I often use breathing techniques which appear very helpful in shifting my state of consciousness, often in ways I don't fully understand. More yoga than Buddhist. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I feel automatic hesitance to endorse that. There are some Buddhist practices, especially in Tibetan Buddhism, which do use certain kinds of controlled breathing. But most Buddhist meditation advice is to not control your breathing. Or if you do, to do so only at the very beginning. So many teachers will, including Ajahn Chah actually, many teachers will advise starting with a few long, slow, deep breaths right at the beginning. But then after that, to just let the breath go at its own pace. So deliberately controlling the breathing doesn't seem to be much of a feature in Buddhist practice. Again, with the exception of some particular techniques used in Tibetan Buddhism. That's the main exception that I know of. Otherwise, it's usually not advised. As for shifting your consciousness, well, the question is shifting it from what to what? So shifting by itself doesn't really communicate anything. The question is shifting from what to what? What is it doing to your mind? What is it doing to your state of consciousness? So Buddhism is not, Buddhist meditation is not necessarily about inducing an altered state of consciousness. Rather, it's about clearly understanding our experience exactly as it is. And as for blending Hindu yoga methods with Buddhism, that gets quite risky. Recently, there was a young man who came on retreat with us, and he was mixing together a bunch of things from Hindu yoga in with Buddhist practice. And not only did he not get good results, he got really bad results. And wound up driving himself to the brink of insanity, and he had to leave the retreat early because he just couldn't take it anymore. And that had nothing to do with the Buddhist methods. It had to do with the fact that he wasn't following our instructions and he was mixing in Hindu yoga methods in with the Buddhist practice. Caused a big mess in his mind and body. So it's really not recommended. That kind of cross-religion mixing of methods, usually not recommended.
And Dan is asking, Monte, what is the reason for the whole body at once?
Because first off, we're trying to be aware of our whole bodily experience, to have wisdom encompassing the whole body. So in order to have wisdom encompassing the whole body, there has to be awareness encompassing the whole body. That's one reason why. Another reason why is that for many people, they find it very supportive to samadhi. So feeling the whole body, they find helps them get samadhi in a way that fixating on a small part of the body doesn't. But your experience may be different. So I actually don't normally focus on the whole body. I normally focus on my hands. But every now and then I use the whole body when it feels right, when it feels helpful. So it's good to have that tool in your toolkit, to have it as an option, have some familiarity with it and feel it. Because sometimes that's going to be the right option for you. Maybe not most of the time, but sometimes.
And Gita is saying, Bhante, in the chanting, was it going over the 12 links of dependent origination?
Yes, towards the end. That was included towards the end.
And Denise says, can the funeral chanting be done at any time after the passing of a relative, or is there a specific time frame after which it is no longer appropriate?
So I was never given any instructions over certain times, because that person is somewhere in some state of being. So wherever they are, you can still chant the Dhamma for them and hope that they'll understand the Dhamma. So it doesn't matter how long it's been. And in fact, in Buddhist countries, in Buddhist cultures, commonly people will do chanting on the anniversary of someone's death every year for the rest of their life. So when, for example, if your mother passes away on April 5th, then every year, April 5th, you will do chanting for her for the rest of your life. So there's no idea of like, oh, it's been 7 years, we should stop now. And you can if you want to, I guess. But the truth is that unless the person was fully enlightened, then they're somewhere in samsara, and they can definitely benefit from the Dhamma. So there's no harm in chanting for them and wishing well for them, and there's only benefit from that. So I don't see any reason why one should only chant during certain times and not others.
Yes, Denise is asking because her father passed away 4 months ago.
Yeah, we'll do some chanting for him. Yeah.
There's also a beautiful recording on the Abhayagiri website, Denise. So if you send us an email, I can send you the link. And Geeta says, thank you for sharing the Dhamma last night. So sweet. Well, thank you for listening and practicing. That's very important. Sally says, maybe it's a translation reason. Before I thought only 2 characteristics of water, flowing and consistency. I think moisture is an easier translation than consistency, stickiness of water elements.
Yeah. Similarly, I've also heard cohesiveness or stickiness as an aspect of the water element. And I've also never had a strong connection with that adjective. Yeah, I prefer moisture. Yeah, whatever works.
And in regards to the funeral chanting, actually, Geeta is adding, yes, this is true. In Sri Lanka, we offer merit to the departed family and other meals to the Sangha. I think that's spread throughout.
Yeah, I think every Buddhist culture has something along those lines, sharing merit with the dead. Yeah.
And Sally says, I think this meditation helps me have less suffering from body illness, at least the mental level, because it's just causes and condition that the 4 elements is not working well. So not easy contemplating like this in daily life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, which is why we practice. So we do meditation practice because that makes it easier for us to develop wisdom at all times. Without meditation practice, it's nearly impossible to cultivate wisdom in daily life. Not completely impossible, but much harder. Meditation practice makes it a bit easier.
All right, and I think that's all for this morning. If you have any other questions, you can bring them this evening to Monk Chat. Not necessarily related to this meditation practice, but related to this meditation practice if you like, but also any other question. And we will be meeting at 7:30 p.m. as usual, New York time. We will be doing some chatting, and then Bhate Sudazo and I will go through the questions and try our best to answer them. All right? Okay. Well, have a great rest of the day. And just great in general. And see you later. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sally's asking, could I explain a little bit about the retreat? We'll do it this evening. So this weekend we'll be offering making friends with suffering retreat. So we'll give more sort of explanations this evening. All right, have a great, bye.